All right, today we're going to dive into one of the coolest, most powerful tools in all of mathematics, something called proof by induction.
So let me just ask you a question. How would you prove that a statement is true? Not just for the number 5 or 100 or even a billion, but for every single number that exists, all the way out to infinity. I mean, you can't check them all one by one, right? You'd literally be counting forever. So how in the world do you solve an infinite problem with a finite amount of time?
Well, the secret actually starts not with numbers, but with dominoes. Just picture a line of them spaced out perfectly, stretching way, way out past the horizon. An infinite line of dominoes. And your job is to knock every single one of them over. So this leads us to the big puzzle, right? The domino conundrum. How can you be absolutely 100% certain that every domino in that endless line is going to fall? Think about it for a second. You can't sit there and watch infinity happen. So what are the two essential conditions, the two things that must be true to guarantee the entire chain reaction works perfectly? It's actually beautifully simple, isn't it? First, you've got to start the whole thing. You have to physically push over that very first domino. That's rule 1. And rule 2? You need to know for sure that the chain reaction will keep going. The fall of any one domino has to cause the fall of the very next one in line. If you can prove those two things, well, the outcome is inevitable. And here's the cool part. That simple two-step domino logic, it's the exact same logic we're going to use to solve our infinite math problem. Let's see how this all snaps together into a formal proof. I mean, look how perfectly this maps over. Pushing the first domino in math, we call that the base case. And that crucial idea that if one domino falls, the next one falls, that's our inductive step. That's it. That's the whole machine right there. Okay, so first up is the base case. Think of this as the starting pistol. All you have to do is prove your statement is true for the very first number, which is usually n equals 1. You just plug in the number and check if it works. It's usually the easy part. And then comes the inductive step. This is where the magic really happens. You don't try to prove it for every number. No, you prove the connection works. You start by saying, okay, let's just assume our statement is true for some random domino down the line. Let's call it k. Then, using that assumption as a tool, you have to prove that it must logically also be true for the very next domino, k plus 1. And this is so crucial to get. We are not checking k, then k plus 1, then k plus 2. We're not doing that at all. We are just proving that the link, the connection between any domino and the one right after it is rock solid. Once we've done that, and we've already knocked over the first domino with our base case, the whole infinite line is absolutely guaranteed to fall. Okay, enough with the theory. Let's see this elegant beast in action. We're going to walk through a proof together, using an example from some A-level source material. All right, here's our mission. We want to prove that this funky-looking expression, no matter what positive integer n you plug into it, will always be a multiple of 7. Trying to check this one by one would be impossible, but with induction, totally doable. First things first, the base case. Let's test our statement for n equals 1. We just plug it in. We get 2 to the power of 1 plus 2 plus 3 to the power of 2 times 1 plus 1. Okay, so that's 2 cubed plus 3 cubed, which is 8 plus 27, giving us 35. Now, is 35 divisible by 7? You bet it is. Boom, the first domino has officially toppled over. Now for the clever part, the inductive step. We start by making our big assumption. We're going to say, okay, let's just assume that somewhere down the line, there's a number, k, where this statement is true. We are just assuming that this expression, 2 to the power of k plus 2 plus 3 to the power of 2k plus 1, is some multiple of 7. For now, we take that as a given. So here's the challenge. Based only on that assumption, can we prove that the very next domino, the k plus 1 case, must also fall? We have to show that this new, slightly messier expression is also, without a doubt, divisible by 7. Now, the strategy here isn't magic. It's just some smart algebra. The whole goal is to take the k plus 1 expression and just move things around until we can see our original k expression, the one we assumed was true, hiding right there inside of it.
So here's how it works. We rearrange the expression and break it into two main parts. Look at that first part. It's just 2 times our original assumption. Since we assumed that part was divisible by 7, well, 2 times it must also be divisible by 7. And the second part? It's got a 7 right there in front of it, so of course it's divisible by 7. And when you add two things that are both divisible by 7, the result has to be divisible by 7.
And just like that, we've done it. The chain reaction holds.
Now, if you're thinking, okay, that's cool for these divisibility problems, you should know the real beauty of induction is just how incredibly versatile it is. I mean, that exact same two-step logic, base case, inductive step, can be used to prove all sorts of things. You can use it for these complex summation formulas you see on the left, and even for mind-bending statements about matrix multiplication, like the one over on the right. The problem changes, but that core domino logic stays exactly the same.
So let's just take a step back for a second and appreciate what makes this method so beautiful.
What we've really done here is something that should feel kind of impossible. We've used a small, finite, two-step argument to make a concrete, undeniable statement about an infinite number of cases. It's like we've built a bridge from the finite world to the infinite.
You know, if the whole domino thing doesn't quite click for you, try thinking about it like this. The base case is you proving you can get on the very first rung of a ladder. The inductive step is you proving that if you're standing on any rung, you know for sure how to climb to the one directly above it. If both of those things are true, you've just proven you can climb that ladder forever.
So the big idea to take away from all of this is that some of the most massive, intimidating, infinite-seeming problems can actually be conquered by proving just two simple things: where to start and how to take the next step. It's a ridiculously powerful idea in math, and maybe, just maybe, everywhere else too.